How's it going, everybody, and welcome to the mini channel. And today we have something that I've been looking forward to quite a bit. And I'm not gonna lie, when the first news of this was announced, I was looking forward to it, but at the same time, I did have some worries. And this is my first impression slash show you buy this game. And I do this pretty much with games that I'll play like 4 or 5 hours of the game and can I give you my opinion. But this is actually a game I already finished before, and this is the remake for Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE. And again, I already finished this game back on the Wii U, and this is now the remake slash remaster for it for the Switch. And here are my thoughts about it. Now, since I already played this game, I will talk about some performance improvements and that kind of stuff, but I will focus about things like gameplay and story elements and that kind of stuff to give you an idea whether you should play this game or whether you should buy it if you're interested in it. Well, let's go ahead and get started with this. I want to start with the story. So the story follows two different characters, two main characters, boy and a girl, and you main protagonist is the boy. But the story is about these two different characters. Main character Tsubasa, the girl, she wants to be an idol, so to speak, like an artist, and this is due to her sister gone missing through a mysterious circumstances, and you really see this at the beginning of the story. So she's trying out to be an artist, and you have your friend Ikitsuki. He's the main character protagonist. He's just a guy, he's just a high schooler, but he's friends with Tsubasa, and he went there to this contest to support Tsubasa, and mysterious things happen and she gets kidnapped. So now it's up to you, the main character, to go and rescue her and enter this dungeon and everything. You see supernatural elements, you unlock this persona style kind of thing, and you use it to fight these demons slash shadows slash I don't know what you will call them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You start you embark in this adventure and everything, and it just unfolds in different kind of ways and everything. And I really like this game. In a sense, it really does borrow, if you don't know, this is a crossover between Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei. I will say Persona more than SMT, but it really does borrow a lot of those elements from both SMT and Fire Emblem, and you can see them mixed sprinkled in here and there. The art is really like Fire Emblem, but the story takes more elements from Persona than anything else. Honestly, at this point, I'll say that this is the closest thing to a Persona game in the Switch. So if you're one of those people that keeps commenting, I want Persona 5 on the Switch, this is gonna be the closest thing to that. There's a lot of different similar elements to it. The combat, which is what I'm gonna talk about in a second, is extremely similar. I'll say this game is the closest to Persona 4 in a sense. The story is a little bit more upbeat. There's a lot of hanging out moments with your friends, and you meet these other people, all these characters that you interact with and they develop to each other. You get to go around the city in Tokyo and just kind of experience all these elements and everything. This is more easygoing game that things like Persona or SMT games. So there is no like a time constraint. You just do things at your own pace and everything. The story really moves forwards as you go on everything. Again, there's a lot of twists and little turns and everything like that you find sprinkled here and there. And the lore and the story is really well explained within the story and everything like that. Overall, I find the story to be more sillier and a little bit less on the serious side than say things like Fire Emblem or Persona, but it's more on the light half like serious, half really light-hearted type of thing. Again, really reminds me of Persona 4. The gameplay overall plays like an SMT game or a Persona game. You do the combat exactly the same as a turn-based style. You fight these different enemies you fight against. You can hit the weaknesses. You can do combos with other characters called sessions, which is kind of like the Tokyo Mirage Sessions thing, and you use all these elements to fight these characters. Overall, the combat is not really hard. I played it on medium and hard difficulty before, so I kind of have a good idea of the gameplay. It's not hard, but it can get difficult in a sense, so that's why it's good for you to know what the weaknesses are and how they work and what combos you should do with what and everything like that. The story gets, again, implicates more stuff, and as you go through the story, you unlock more abilities and more things like that. So I really do like that a lot. Overall, this game has its own unique flavor, and it feels different in some kind of sense because the kind of story that it's trying to tell, let's say something like Fire Emblem or Persona, so it really falls something in between there with the characters and everything like that. The characters are likable. They really remind me of things like Fire Emblem more than anything else, but their interactions are really genuine, and I really like the way that you get to meet new characters and the characters that develop. There's some silly characters, there's some really funny characters, some pretty interesting characters. Just the cast, you meet a lot of different characters, and all of them again are straight up characters from Fire Emblem, because that's where they get that from. While they didn't get any of the gameplay elements from Fire Emblem, they got the character design, they got the way that the story beats go, more on a Fire Emblem style thing. I feel like if you are a fan of both Persona, SMT, and Fire Emblem, you're definitely gonna be straight at home with this kind of story and elements. Even though the gameplay, if you're a Fire Emblem fan, you might not like this kind of gameplay in the turn-based style, but if you're a Persona fan or an SMT, you're definitely gonna be right at home with this. Overall, the performance of this game is much better than the one on the Switch. I found the gameplay just looks better, it looks a little smoother and everything like that. Now, that being said, this game is not particularly impressive when it comes to graphics or anything like that, especially if you compare it to games that came out last year or even the year before that, in 2018. This game doesn't have a lot of like those really impressive graphics. However, the animation, when you go through these animated cutscenes that you have, are really well done. There's a lot of good stuff within all of this stuff, and I can appreciate that a lot. I really do like when there's like cutscene, animated cutscene, and then goes to the 3D graphics and everything. It's not really jarring. You know, there's some games where you play it and it goes from 3D to 2D, it just is super jarring in style. So this one is able to mash these two together, and they are really well done. There are some really good cutscenes out there, and I really like that. For example, the first time that they unlock their Persona ability, I'm gonna call it Persona, it's not what it's called, and all the animation when they get the outfits and everything, it's really well done animated, and I really like that a lot. I'm playing the game in just English subtitles and everything like that. The voice actor in Japanese is as good as always. Not particularly standard or any kind of weight or anything, but I think it's pretty good. The music is okay. I don't think it's really the best out of the bunch, and I feel it's interesting to think about it because this particular game is supposed to be about these idols and the performances and everything. But however, the music is not really good. I just find it to be really J-pop type of music. There's nothing impressive, but it's still good. I mean, it's not the worst music, but I didn't catch myself kind of like singing any of these songs or having them on my phone or anything like that, but it's still really good music nonetheless. You know, SMT, Persona, Fire Emblem, they all have really good music, so you can find something in the middle ground here. Overall, I do recommend this game if you're a fan of SMT or Fire Emblem. I think that there is a good mix between the two. However, this was not the game that people were promised whenever this was first announced, and overall I do agree with a lot of people that the game can fall short between some things, you know, like the story and everything like that. But overall, looking at it in its own right, as its own game, I do think that they do a lot of things right. I think a lot of people compare them to other franchises, doesn't give this game enough credit by itself. I think the game has a lot of things good going for it, and I think that maybe if they did like another game in this series, it could really improve on all this stuff. But overall, the story is good, the characters are good, and the gameplay is pretty solid. So if you're a fan of any of those things, I think you'll definitely check it out. I enjoy the game. Again, this is the closest thing to a Persona game that is going to be in the Switch anytime soon, I think. I'll be honest with you guys, this is probably the closest when I get to a Persona game or an SMT game in a long time. We haven't heard any news when it comes to SMT 5, so if you are in your hunger for a Switch game that is like SMT, this is going to be the closest thing. Anyway, that is pretty much it for today, guys. I wanted to talk about this game yesterday, but I was really busy. I had a lot of stuff going on, so I really didn't get to get this until today, but I do hope you're enjoying this video, and let me know in the comments below if you're playing this and if you're enjoying it. Again, this is a really good game. There's still the issue with censorship and that kind of stuff. However, if you really don't think about it and you just go to experience everything, it's still a really good game. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. If you're new, please consider liking and subscribing, and let me know what you think about this game. You like it, you hate it, I don't know. I've seen fans on both the stands. You know, there's people that really like this game, there's people that really hate this game. I'm kind of fall somewhere in the middle, but I do think that this is a good game, and I really like a lot of this stuff. You know, there are some things that I don't like, but I think overall it's a really good game. Anyway, that's it for today. Let me know again, and I'll see you guys next time.